Yo, it's your boy Joe. Waiting on my co-host to get on. Hey, you on, Greg? All right. You on? All right,
Now
cool.
it's on you.
All right. We live right now, man. Uh, so I'm gonna go right into the intro real quick, and then we're gonna get started.
All right.
All right. Yo, it's your boy Joe.
This your boy Greg. We the co-pilots from coast to coast. We do the most. So what's your flight? Whatever it is, we got you covered.
Man, what's going on today, man? It's been a long day, bro. What's up with you?
Yeah, it's been a long day, dealing with the truck, man. Had to get my tires changed on the truck and everything, man. Now, hey, so I'm up here in Buffalo right now. And Bill's Mafia is heavy up here.
Oh, for
And
sure,
from here
man.
I'll be headed to North Carolina.
Yeah, man, that's what's up, man. So we ain't gonna hold up everybody's time, man. We want to thank everybody for tuning into the podcast. If you're watching it by YouTube, LinkedIn, or whatever you listening to the Co-Pilots podcast from, we want to thank you guys. And we're gonna get right into it tonight, man. Let's talk a little bit of NBA playoffs tonight, man. Got some big games on tonight. We got game two, the Knicks, Celtics. We seen how the first game went. 20 point, plus lead for the game back. And hold up. You good?
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody was calling me, man. Shit. God damn it. All right, man. Somebody was calling me, bro. My bad.
Yeah.
So, like I said, man, um, we got New York Knicks, Celtics. They had a 20 point lead the other night. Uh, and then you got game two of I think the Denver Nuggets and the OKC tonight as well. So you know what's your surprises of the playoffs so far, and just give me a rundown of like what you expect, Greg.
I think on everybody, man. I think the biggest surprise, man, you got to go with Boston losing game one. That was unexpected against the New York Knicks, man. And man, shout out to the Knicks, man. Like I say, man, they came in that second half, man, and they played like dogs, man. Like the team that we know they can be or whatnot. And I think, and we already know this about NBA and when it comes to playoff basketball, man. The series doesn't really necessarily start until the opposing opponents win on the road. And this is what New York did the other night, man. And shout out to Mikal Bridges, man, for that play he made, man, when he stole the ball, man, out and you gotta look, man. This is a Tom Thibodeau type of team right here, man. Defensive, you get what I'm saying? Playing aggressive, man, and they displayed that in game one. So that was one of the biggest surprises right there. And I think we also got to look at it was another one too, man. Um, um, when you look at Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
Indiana stole two games on the road, you know what I'm saying, against Cleveland, a team that we look at as that this supposed to be at the worst, the second best team in the Eastern Conference. You get what I'm saying? And so, man, when you let a team like Indiana, man, like I'm not expecting Indiana to make a lot of noise, but for them to make the stand that they made, man, and win two games on the road, and like they've been saying all day, and I gotta come back and say the same thing, man. we got to give Tyrese Halliburton his props, man. He was voted one of the most overrated players and whatnot. And I think I even said that at one point. I was like, man, I wasn't big on him as being a superstar, you know, but playing the type of basketball that he's been playing in the playoff and to have game clutch shots, yeah, you know what I'm saying, he's putting himself in that category.
Yeah, I think the playoffs been very interesting so far. When you look at a team like the Indiana Pacers, I don't think none of us expect them to be here because I think a lot of us thought that the Bucks would win that series, but
Right.
you know, Doc Rivers, that's another story for another day. And,
Oh snap.
but you know what I'm saying? But this Indiana team, man, I gotta give them, man. I think they for real, dog. Like
Right.
the last two seasons, they've made deep playoff runs. This is another year. Look like they're gonna be in a deep another deep run in the playoffs. And
Right.
like again, Tyrese Halliburton, man, another guy that a lot of people don't really talk about in the league. He gets his due, but he don't get enough due. And I think in
Right.
this series right now, you're seeing why the Indiana Pacers value him the way they do. This team
Correct.
can score a lot too. Rick Carlisle, man, you know, for Rick Carlisle, this team usually defensive teams, the teams like he won with in Dallas. This team is a lot different. This team can score, man. They can put up a lot of points. And
Right.
man, I can say, man, the Cleveland Cavs, man, they on life support right now, man. Like they gotta win game three, bro. Ain't no
Right.
other way around it, bro. You gotta win game three. And it's gonna be hard because you gotta win it on the opposing team court. So
Oh yeah.
you gotta win both games. They must win both games. If you don't win, the series over with. So I mean, I'm giving Cleveland a little bit of hope, but it goes back to what you was talking about earlier in the earlier podcast, Greg, when you talked about what's Cleveland for real. And I think we're starting to see a little bit of cracks in their armor. Like, man, this is what maybe a lot of people were talking about. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And you know what's crazy, right? That's crazy what had just happened. But you know what's crazy, right? Like Cleveland was one of those teams I feel that with the addition of them getting DeAndre Hunter, that this made them a better team. Like that made them that much competitive when you look at, when they have to face teams like the Boston Celtics. You get what I'm saying? So it's like with seeing this, it's like, damn, did y'all take a step back? You know what I'm saying? Like y'all, this team's supposed to be better. You know what I'm saying? They playing below expectations. There's no excuse for it because prior to this season, you get what I'm saying? They was one of the top teams in the Eastern Conference. And then you bring in a player like DeAndre Hunter, who's having one of his best seasons. Like, you have to ask, like, what's going on with this team, man? You get what I'm saying? Like, this team's supposed to play better than how they been playing. You know what I'm saying? Then to lose, and it's not to take nothing away from Indiana, but I don't think nobody's seen them losing, two straight at home against a team.
Right. And I think that's the biggest thing because when you look at both of these games, I kind of feel like Cleveland should both of these games Cleveland should have won. Like game one, they should have
Right,
took it. And then when you look at game two, the way they lost that game, I'm gonna
right,
segue into the Warriors game because it's very important about that game because if you look at
right,
the way Golden State closed that game out, that's what championship teams do. The way they close that
right,
game out, and you can see clearly in the Cavs, this team don't have that in them, man. Like they just don't have that championship pedigree. They don't have that in critical situations to take care of the ball. Like there's no way you got a two possession lead. There's no way why are you leaving you left too much clock. I'm getting that. You know what I'm
right,
saying? For it was too much of a big lead to lose that game, man. It was just too
right,
much, bro. So I mean, this could make or break this. I mean, it already is a make or break in the series because like, they're in life support now. But if they lose this series, they're gonna have to look back on that game and say, Game Two was the reason why we lost this series.
right, correct.
You know, but talking about Golden State and leading to Golden State, uh, man, they did it without Steph, bro. They say Steph is he's questionable for Game Two. We talked
Yeah,
about this
he's day to
early on
day.
today, man. I think you sit him Game Two, man.
Oh, exactly, man. You know, he's day to day with a hamstring, man. I think Jimmy Butler and Draymond, man, I think they are more than capable of handling business or whatnot, man. I mean, you is playing against Ed, man. You playing against the Timberwolves, but you was able to take game one. You get what I'm saying? So by you being able to take you know what I'm saying, take run away with game one, you know, you have leverage now. So now you can afford to, you know, sit Steph. You get what I'm saying? And you can possibly win the next game with Steph. Not saying it's guaranteed. You get what I'm saying? Because we know that Timberwolves, they got a good team, man. They got a good all around team. They're one of those young teams. The only thing they don't have is this some of these other teams have. So I think that in this situation, man, you just have to risk, you know what I'm saying, going in a situation where you could lose game two versus you losing stuff the rest of the series. And then losing the series possibly.
Right. And I think that's got to be the approach Steve Kerr is taking, just like what you said, man. You got to think about the series, man. You stole one game, you got game one. You
Right,
lose game two, hey, we going back on our court for the next two games. We got Steph a little bit of days rest. You go out there and possibly you can win both games on your home court, man. I don't expect Ant Man to play the way he played last night. He shot bad. He didn't get his first field goal until like third quarter. You know what I'm saying?
right,
So I don't think he's gonna play that bad. But uh, yeah, man, if you the Warriors, man, you gotta be happy situation you in. Buddy Hill been playing lights out the last two games. You just gotta hope and continue he can carry that one more game while Steph is on the sideline. You get what I'm saying?
right.
Because in the fourth
He's
quarter of
been at
that
lead
game,
scorer the last two games.
I know in the fourth quarter of that last game, man, it seemed like nobody wanted to shoot the ball. I mean, they was just passing, they were playing like hot potato for a minute. And I
Right,
think a lot of that was because nobody was confident in their shot. But I think Buddy Hill gonna have to pick up that load, and I think he can do it too. This
right,
Minnesota team, they kind of wishy washy, bro. Ant Man, I mean, he's gonna have to set the tone. His coach was right about that in the press conference. If Ant Man set the tone early on for his team, it'll be hard to beat the Minnesota Timberwolves. But if he come out
right,
like he did, came out flat, man, I can see Golden State still in another game too. But I don't think they. I think Minnesota win game two.
right.
So let's talk about the other series, man. The OKC and Denver series they play tonight, man. What's your thoughts on that?
My thought was this, man. I think Denver's still one of those teams, man. You know, we look at the collapse last year from last season, and that was due to the fact that you know Jokic um played the number of minutes that he played in game seven, which we feel that, you know, when they was up, he should have rested. That was a bad coaching move. But now I don't think that it warranted him getting fired, anything like that. We forgot that they did win a championship with the same coach. You get what I'm saying? And you get what I'm saying? They still one of the top teams. Sometimes things don't go as planned. But I think Denver, man, you got Jokic, you got Murray, man. You know what I'm saying? And I think they still one of the top teams out there, man. You know what I'm saying? They still got role players. And so like I
Yeah,
say, man, you also got, man, a hungry Westbrook, man. That's still out there, man. Westbrook, one of those dudes, man. He's hungry, man. You know, he's one of those players, right? When he's not asserting himself on the buckets, he gonna assert himself, you know what I'm saying, in assists, board, and defense especially. You get what I'm saying?
right.
So he's one of those players, man. To have a player like Russell Westbrook, and he's not your third option, but you have him on his team. You get what I'm saying? Like that's a dangerous team right there. You get what I'm saying? See, we tend to remember the times when he was in with the Lakers, but the Lakers was trying to, you know, that was a, you know, we you know, and I said that before that season even started, and that was a bad fit, you know, with him being at the Lakers or whatnot, because he was not the answer for what they was lacking, and that was 3-point shooting. You get what I'm saying? When he's over there at Denver, he's not asked to be a 3-point shooter. You get what I'm saying? He's asked to do everything else. So I think that was a good pickup for Denver right there. You get what I'm saying? So I mean, like I say, I got, I said, early in the season, man, early in this, before the playoff season started, that I got Golden State winning, what I'm saying, winning the West. But Denver could be one of those teams that can give them a run for their money, though.
Yeah, man. And like I said earlier in the video this week, man, I do think that one of the two. I don't think both of them get to the Western Conference Finals. I could be wrong, but I think one of the two get there, either Golden State or Denver. Just based on just the championship pedigree of both of those teams, they've won chips. The caliber of players they got on their team, and Jokic, Steph Curry, both are transcending players. Uh, and they both have, like I say, they've been battle tested, both of these teams. So I can see, like I say, even though Denver didn't have the greatest of regular season, they still finished with the fifth seed. I think it was fourth, fifth seed. Golden
Right.
State, they had to play in a play where they was the sixth seed or whatever. So I mean, these guys had to kind of fight their way. But I think that now playoff time, a lot of these younger teams in the Western Conference, and we seen with Houston, and we might see with OKC tonight, that when it come playoff time, you got to raise your game to another level. You can win as
Of
many games
course.
you want in the regular season, have the best record, whatever. But come playoff time, man, you gotta be able to elevate, man. Some of that shit that you was getting in the regular season, you're not gonna get those easy looks in the playoffs, man. So
Right.
I think a lot of these younger players gotta adjust to playoff basketball.
And not only raise your level of player, you got to raise the level of players with the team, with the players around you as well. You get what I'm saying? Like, because we see what a lot of, right? Look at, KD. We look at some of these other guys and whatnot. They level of playing was raised, but at the same time, the guys around you got to play that much better as well. And I think that what leadership come to play in that. You get what I'm saying? Like, you know, it's more than just what you're able to do on the court. You get what I'm saying? You got to be able to get in your player's head, like, hey, listen, we need this here. You get what I'm saying? Like, you gotta, man, it's like one of those when we was watching the documentary with Michael Jordan, right? The Last Dance, when he was talking about with him and Scottie Pippen. You get what I'm saying? Man, you gotta, man, be able to bring so, you may see something in the guys around you, man. You gotta bring that up out of them. You get what I'm saying? Even if they don't see it in themselves, man. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree. You have to be able to be a good leader, man. And the guys that win it all, man, they are the ones that can elevate the team, the players around them to play better, man. We know Kobe, Jordan, these guys are notorious for getting guys to play better around them. See Chris Paul, another guy. So, I mean, with the Western comes with a lot of younger teams, man. You got OKC, you got what's the other young team in the Western Conference outside of OKC? Oh damn, they all the young teams that got knocked out now. Memphis, Houston, no, Minnesota, another young team. Yeah, what? Yeah. So, but with